morning students. Today we are going to discuss about a very important topic, cerebellum, and expected essay question, and also many questions will come in NEET PG. So before going into detail about the cerebellar circuit, just concentrate here. So this is obviously the cerebellum. You can see here the main important characteristic feature of the cerebellum is it is made into multiple folds. See, I am drawing many folds. Why I want to stress here is this folds causes increased surface area. That is, cerebellum has increased surface area compared to cerebral cortex. The reason for the increased surface area is it is going to do the coordination of the movements. So just understand that cerebellum has, so all these will be grey matter. So understand, spinal cord has outer white matter, inner H-shaped grey matter, whereas cerebellum has outer grey matter, inner white matter. Very, very important. And as I mentioned, cerebellum is having increased surface area. Now let me see. I can use other color. So you can see here, let this be two fissures. So this is posterolateral fissure and this is primary fissure. And the cerebral cortex is separated from cerebellum by tentorium cerebelli. So this is cerebral cortex. It is divided from the cerebellum by tentorium cerebelli. I am not mentioning it. This cerebellum is divided into three parts by primary fissure. So primary fissure divides cerebellum into anterior cerebellum and posterior cerebellum. The posterolateral fissure divides this into flocculonodular lobe. So this is anatomic part. Before going into the detail about the anatomical division, functional division, first let us discuss about the functions of cerebellum in a broad way. For example, just understand, I will draw it here. If I want to drink a cup of tea, so just understand here, this is my hand. I am very weak in diagram. So I want to drink a cup of tea. Imagine the cup of tea is kept in the floor and my right hand is going to pick the cup of tea. So when my right hand is going to pick the cup of tea, I am able to pick. Why am I able to pick? Because my cerebellum is functioning normally. So for picking the cup of tea, this hand movements, this is done by cerebral cortex. That is my movements of hand, which is combination of upper motor neuron and lower motor neuron. Upper motor neuron is concerned with pyramidal tract. Lower motor neuron is a nerve supplying that particular muscle. For example, for me picking this cup of tea, these muscles, the forearm muscles must contract so that I am able to pick the cup of tea. And what does the basal ganglia do here is, basal ganglia is planning and programming mainly for initiation of movements from the cerebral cortex. So basal ganglia will plan or initiation. Okay, you have decided. Okay, yes, I think you can go and pick the cup of tea. So all those communication mainly is done by basal ganglia. Now next question. Okay, what is the role of cerebellum? So my forearm muscles contract. That is because of cerebral cortex, which is corticospinal tract and the lower motor neuron combination. So because of that, my muscles contract and I am able to pick. The voluntary movement act is done. Now what is the role of cerebellum? Very, very important. So what happens is, cerebellum is the one which gives information to the cerebral cortex. For example, I have decided that I have to pick the cup of tea, but cerebellum is the one which tells, see here, cerebellum is the one which tells to the cerebral cortex that my cup is left side of me and the distance is around 1 arm distance. So I have to pick it here. For imagine if cerebellum is not functioning properly for me, cerebral cortex is functioning, pyramidal tract is functioning, basal ganglia is functioning. So what will happen? When I am going to pick the cup of tea, cerebellum has not given the information to cerebral cortex. That is, the cup of tea is present here exactly. So what will happen? I will be searching. My muscle movements is normal. I am able to move, but I am not able to know the exact position of cup of tea. So I hope you now understand. So the cerebellum is mainly concerned with coordination of movement. Cerebellum is the one which gives information to the cerebral cortex about the initial position. Please note it down, very very important. For example, again I repeat, it is worth repeating. If I want to pick the cup of tea, all this happens within a fraction of a second. So cerebral cortex will ask cerebellum, I want to pick the cup of tea, can you please tell me where is that position? This is cerebral cortex asking the cerebellum. Then what cerebellum will tell? Cerebellum will send a copy to cerebral cortex, the exact position of, I am just telling the example, this is what happened in the entire body. With this basic, I will tell the general functions of cerebellum. Yeah, coordination, what I was telling, coordination of movement, balance, very very important, and equilibrium. So I will tell which part of cerebellum does which function. So balance and equilibrium, coordination, and as I was telling, muscle tone is also very important. So maintaining your muscle tone important, and communication with cerebral cortex, that is motor function. So I again repeat, the main motor function is done by cerebral cortex, like movements. So movements of your parts of the body are done by cerebral cortex. But how to exactly move is helped by cerebellum. For example, balance and equilibrium. So from vestibular apparatus is the one which is concerned with balance and equilibrium. So what happens from the vestibular apparatus? It goes to the flocculonodular lobe and helps in the balance and equilibrium. Same coordination from the spinal cord. Or it can also goes to anterior part. So spinocerebellum. So this is spinocerebellar. This is vestibulocerebellar. Spinocerebellum is concerned with coordination of movements. From motor cortex, we'll ask initial position. So cerebral cortex will ask the cerebellum, as I was explaining with an example, picking a cup of tea. So cerebral cortex will ask the cerebellum the initial position. The cerebellum will send the final copy to cerebellum that this is the position. Then accordingly what? So once the final position, example cup of tea, where it is located, once it is known, then the cerebral cortex will start upper motor neuron, then muscle. This is lower motor neuron, this is upper motor neuron, then the muscle. That is contraction of the muscle so that the cup of tea is picked correctly. So I again repeat, from vestibular apparatus mainly for balance and equilibrium, vestibulocerebellum. From spinal cord, some afferents goes to the cerebellum, spinocerebellum, which gives information about the coordination. So coordination. Muscle tone is also one of the important functions done by cerebellum. Then very very important, you can see a communication with the cerebral cortex based upon the copy. So this is very important. So that's why in cerebellar lesion what happens? The initial position may not be told exactly. So what will happen? So this is the cup of tea. When I go to pick, the cerebellum is in fault. So the initial position, the copy is not sent to the cerebral cortex. So what will happen when I go to pick a cup of tea? I exactly don't know. Somehow I'll try to manage, but since my cerebellum is in problem, what will happen? I will not be able to pick the cup of tea. So I will be going like this. That is why we get intention tremor in cerebellar lesion. My intention is to pick up the cup of tea, but I am not able to locate it correctly. So my hand moves like this, like this. So you see here. So if my cerebellum is normal, I will be able to pick. But if my cerebellum is in problem, so I will be searching for the cup of tea, or I will not be able to exactly localize the cup of tea. That is intention tremor. Likewise, many are there that I will tell you in applied aspects. So now I will go to anatomical division of cerebellum. So you can see here, I have just drawn it to make it easy. So this is again primary fissure. So this will be posterior lobe. This will be anterior lobe. We already discussed. This is flocculo-nodular lobe. So this is primary fissure and this will be posterolateral fissure. So the center portion, the green color, we call it as vermis. This one we call it as paravermis. So as I told, this is primary fissure which divides cerebellum into anterior lobe and posterior lobe. This is posterolateral fissure which divides, this is posterior lobe, this is flocculo-nodular lobe. So this is anatomical division of cerebellum. Now coming to functional division. So this is lateral cerebellar hemispheres. This is vermis, this is paravermis, this is flocculo-nodular lobe. Yeah, functional division, mainly flocculo-nodular lobe is vestibulocerebellum. So as I was telling first, the flocculo-nodular lobe is mainly concerned with balance and equilibrium. So that's why functional division. This one vermis, paravermis, this is concerned with coordination or spinocerebellum. So one of the functions of cerebellum is coordination, which is mainly done vermis, paravermis, which we call as spinocerebellum. Now the next question, what is the difference between vermis and paravermis? So vermis mainly controls the axial, the central portion of the body, axial portion of the body. Paravermis is concerned with lateral, like the limbs, lateral side. And with this is posterior lobe, anterior lobe, if you divide it anatomically, but functionally the lateral cerebellar hemispheres. So functional division I am telling. So the lateral cerebellar hemispheres are concerned with cortex. The lateral cerebellar hemispheres are concerned with mainly association with cerebral cortex, or which I was telling, the cerebral cortex, we lost the cerebellum. So which part of the cerebellum it lost? It lost the lateral cerebellar hemispheres, which is neocerebellum, neo or cerebrocerebellum. So all are same, neocerebellum, cerebrocerebellum. So if they ask what is the function of neocerebellum, it receives the information from the cerebral hemispheres, like what is the position, it will get the information. Then what this neocerebellum will do, it will send the information to cerebral cortex, that the position I am standing in this position, so you act accordingly. So all these things will be sent to the cerebral cortex. So this association with cerebral cortex is done by neocerebellum. That's why it is called a cerebro. Cerebro means cerebral cortex. Cerebrocerebellum. The functional classification is the vermis and paravermis. The center one is vermis, the lateral side is paravermis. They are associated with coordination. Even draw it and show you. So the limbs comes under paravermis, the trunk portion, the ears comes under paravermis. The trunk portion comes in the vermis, and the flocculonodular lobe is associated with balance and equilibrium. That is the vestibular apparatus. They are concerned with flocculonodular lobe. That's why it is also called as vestibulocerebellum. I have written here. So vestibulocerebellum. This one is called as spinocerebellum. If they ask what is the archaeological classification, like how much, which is old, which is new, the oldest one is usually vestibulocerebellum, which is also called as archaeocerebellum. This is phylogenetic classification, or which is cerebellum, primitive part of cerebellum, which is the latest developed. So the archaeocerebellum is the oldest one, which is nothing but vestibulocerebellum. The spinocerebellum is paleocerebellum, the second one. As I mentioned, neo means newest. The latest cerebellum is cerebrocerebellum. So I have classified the cerebellum. I have mentioned about the functions of cerebellum. You can just go through coordination. Now you can answer yourself. Which is mainly concerned with coordination? Yeah, you will be able to answer spinocerebellum. Spinocerebellum is paleocerebellum. Balance and equilibrium. Which cerebellum? Yeah, balance and cerebellum is vestibulocerebellum, which is archaeocerebellum, which is flocculonodular lobe. Muscle tone. The communication with cerebral cortex, as I told in the speech, between cerebellum and cerebral cortex, which is mainly done by neocerebellum or cerebrocerebellum or lateral cerebellar hemispheres. So all these things is very clear now. With this background, we will go into the deep cerebellar nuclei. Yeah, you can just see here, I have drawn here. Deep cerebellar nuclei are the output from the cerebellum. They are called dentate nucleus, emboliform nucleus, globosus, and vestigial nucleus. So this is dentate nucleus from lateral to medial. So this is also very important. I am now naming the deep cerebellar nuclei, which is nothing but white matter. So deep cerebellar nuclei will be present inside the white matter or central portion. The outer one is, which is made up of many folds, they are grey matter. Remember, spinal cord has outer white matter, inner shaped grey matter. Cerebellum has outer grey matter, inner white matter, where the deep cerebellar nuclei are present. So I will write it here, dentate emboliformus. So this red color is dentate, blue color is emboliformus, black color is globosus, this green color is vestigious. Again, from this side is also the dentate emboliformus, globosus, vestigious. So to easily remember DEFG, but it is not FG, FG alone will say. So DEGF. So the mnemonic is, see here, DEGF. DEGF. So how we can remember is, you can write the mnemonic, don't eat greasy food. DEGF. Don't. D for dentate, E for emboliformus, G for globosus, F for vestigial. Don't eat greasy foods. The mnemonic from lateral to medial. I am telling about the name of deep cerebellar nuclei. One more mnemonic is that from medial to lateral. Fatty guys eat donut. I'll just write it here. Yeah, this is from below. Fatty guys eat donut. Yes, here FG. Fatty guys eat donut. Fatty guys eat donut, or don't eat greasy foods. So to remember, I just told, and each nucleus is concerned with specific function. So now we will go into cerebellar circuit. So cerebellar cortex is divided into 3 layers. So you can see here, I have just drawn here. This is the cerebellar cortex. The cerebellar cortex is divided into outer, O for outer molecular layer, middle Purkinje layer, then I for inner granular layer. You can note it down. So outer molecular layer, middle Purkinje layer, inner granular layer. Granular layer. Purkinje layer, molecular layer. Now this one is deep cerebellar nuclei, which we are discussing: dentate, globosus, emboliformis, vestigial. And this together is called as interpositus. Emboliformis and globosus together called as nucleus interpositus. Now this is a little bit difficult, you have to just concentrate. I am going to tell about the cerebellar circuit. So two fibers usually will be coming. This one is called climbing fibers. And another one is called mossy fibers. Just note it down. So two inputs coming into the cerebellar cortex are climbing fibers and mossy fibers, but their way of movement is different. Just note it down. Climbing fibers usually take information from inferior olivary nucleus. Mainly the proprioception of the parts of the body which comes to the inferior olivary nucleus. So otherwise, audio, visual, which is balance, equilibrium, tone, the connection between cerebrum and cerebellum, all those comes through mossy fibers. Apart from the inferior olivary nucleus, the other thing, the cerebellum, which comes, the inputs which is coming to the cerebellum are through mossy fibers. So you can remember simply, inferior olivary nucleus means climbing fibers. The other thing is mossy fibers. Now let us go a little bit depth. So what this climbing fibers does is, it will stimulate the deep cerebellar nuclei. Plus, just concentrate. Climbing fibers stimulate the deep cerebellar nuclei. That you understand. And mossy fibers also stimulate deep cerebellar nuclei. So this is aspartate, which is excitatory, and this is glutamate, which is also excitatory. So both inputs, climbing fibers and mossy fibers, they directly stimulate the deep cerebellar nuclei. So remember that now. Now I will first finish. Why? First of all, the layer's name. So Purkinje layer. So that means Purkinje cell is present. That's why the name is Purkinje layer. So Purkinje cell is present here, and the dendrites are going there. So this is the Purkinje cell. This is Purkinje cell. And granular layer, obviously granule cell will be there. Yeah, this is granule cell. In molecular layer, two types of cells are there. I will just draw. Basket cell, then stellate cell, star shape. So far I have discussed four. So let's listen here. The cerebellar cortex is divided into three layers: outer molecular layer, middle Purkinje layer, inner granular layer. I hope you now understand why the name Purkinje layer, because it contains Purkinje cells. So this is Purkinje cells. This is granule cell, GC. Granule cells is present in granular layer. Purkinje cells are present in Purkinje layer. Two cells are present in molecular layer. That is baskets here, shape of basket, and shape of star, that is stellate. Basket cells and stellate cells. One more cell is present here. I will draw it small. GC. I will put small g for you to understand. So this is Golgi cell. So this blue color GC is granule cell. The black color GC is Golgi cell. So two cells are present in granular layer. Cell are granule cell and Golgi cell. So I have drawn totally 5 cells. See here, granule cell, Golgi cell, Purkinje cell, basket cell, stellar cell. Now we will go into the cerebellar circuit. And what are the two inputs coming? Climbing fiber and the Mosey fiber. Yeah, climbing fibers, which is mainly from inferior valvular nucleus, stimulates the deep cerebellar nucleus directly. But what it does is, it straight away goes to the Purkinje cell and stimulates the Purkinje cell. Plus. So granule cells, why it is called as climbing is, it is almost from here, it is climbing up to the Purkinje cell. That's why it is called as climbing fiber, and it is large compared to the Mosey fiber. And remember, each climbing fiber will be reaching only one Purkinje cell, 1:1. It is not the case of Mosey fiber. Mosey fiber, I will just draw the Mosey fiber also so that you can understand. So Mosey fiber goes to the granule cell and stimulates the Golgi cell. It also stimulates the Golgi cell. So again repeat, climbing fiber, one is directly stimulating the deep cerebellar nuclei, another is, why the name climbing fiber is, it climbs from below to the top. It climbs up to the Purkinje cell, and the function of the climbing fiber is plus. It stimulates the Purkinje cell. So the climbing fiber stimulates the Purkinje cell. Now coming to Mosey fiber, what happens? Mosey fiber stimulates the granular cell, GC, and Mosey fiber also stimulates Golgi cell. They both are present in the granular layer. Now again concentrate. What this Golgi cell usually does to this is inhibit. Yeah, now again confusion. So the Mosey fibers, why it is called as Mosey is like mouse. It is not straightforward. It just goes here, gives here, and it is not 1:1. That's why it is called as Mosey fiber. See here, it supplies granule cells, it also supplies Golgi cells, and the Mosey fiber stimulates both granule cells as well as Golgi cells. Now remember, the Mosey fibers directly what it does? You have to answer. The Mosey fibers directly stimulates the granule cells, correct? But through Golgi cell, what it does? Capital G is granule cell, small g is Golgi cell. So the Mosey fibers directly stimulate the granular cell. But through the Golgi cell, what it does? See here, this is plus. So Golgi cell is happy. Golgi cell is stimulated by the Mosey fiber. But what Golgi cell does? Granular cell, it inhibits. So this one, this is the Mosey fiber. Direct plus granule cell through the Golgi cell inhibit the granule cell. So it maintains a balance on the granule cell. Our granule cell is auto inhibited as well as maintained. So it is under control. For example, why this is happening is, maybe if Golgi cell is not there, the granule cell will lack too much. So to make a control on it, this system is there. So we can keep that as such. And another important is about the granule cell. So granule cell is one of the 5 cells present in the cerebellar cortex. Now what this granule cell does is, it comes here up to the molecular layer. See here what it does. So a T shape you can see. Just concentrate. The granular cells, the blue color, it comes up to the granular cells are present in granular layer. The granular cells from the granular layer comes up to the molecular layer and divides into right and left like a T shape, and they are called parallel fibers. Very, very important. Parallel fibers. So parallel fibers are nothing but they are the continuation of the granular cells, and they are divided into T shape, right and left in the molecular layer. Granule cells are present in the granular layer. Parallel fibers are nothing but the continuation of the granular cells which is forming in the molecular layer. Now what this parallel fibers does is, just concentrate, plus it stimulates the stellate cells, plus it stimulates the basket cells, plus it stimulates the Purkinje cell. Granular cells plus stimulates the stellate cells, stimulates the basket cells plus, and stimulates the Purkinje cells. Now, what this is doing? The basket cells inhibit the Purkinje cell, stellate cell inhibit the Purkinje cell. Again, see here, very important. So the granular cells directly, or if you ask what granular cells does to Purkinje cell, granular cells directly stimulate the Purkinje cell, but what is otherwise, what basket cell does to Purkinje cell? Inhibits here. Basket is inhibiting the Purkinje, stellate, the star-shaped cell is inhibiting the Purkinje, but they both are stimulated by granular cell. So again the confusion, the parallel fibers directly go and stimulate the Purkinje cell, but when it is going via the baskets, also granule cells or the parallel fibers, which is the continuation of the granule cells, stimulate all the three. It stimulates basket cell, it stimulates stellate cell, it stimulates Purkinje cell. But the basket cell and stellate cell inhibit the Purkinje cell. So if you ask the effect of granule cell or the effect of parallel fibers, yes plus, but this is also stimulated, the basket and stellate, which is inhibiting this. So this is called, note it down please, this is called feed forward inhibition. Feed forward inhibition. So feed forward inhibition is the granule cells directly stimulates the Purkinje cell. Through the basket cell and stellate cells, it inhibits the Purkinje cells. So that is very important, because the function of basket cell is inhibiting, the function of stellate cell is inhibiting, but the parallel fibers are stimulating that. So it is helping the basket cell and stellate cells to inhibit the Purkinje cell, but directly stimulating the Purkinje cell. So this is called as feed forward inhibition, again to make the function of the cerebellum very crisp and narrow, because the main function of the cerebellum is coordinating with the cerebral cortex and make the movements very precise. Please note the word precise. So the movements to be very accurate and precise. In fact, accurate mapping of the movement or where the initial movement is present. All these are done by cerebellum. In the starting of the class itself, I told there is a link, there is a communication between cerebral cortex and the cerebellum. So all these may be to maintain the accuracy. This is happening in the cerebral circuit. This is called feed forward inhibition. Remember the name climbing fiber. It climbs up to the Purkinje, whereas Mosi fiber gives the connections to granule cells and Golgi cells. Mosi fibers, apart from inferior alveolar nucleus, all other things which comes into the cerebellum may be classified as Mosi fibers. That also you can remember. So what this Purkinje cell does is, it inhibits the cerebellar nuclei, deep cerebellar nuclei, and this deep cerebellar nuclei goes to stimulates the thalamus, midbrain, cerebral cortex. So which is the output? Output is from the deep cerebellar nuclei. The only output from the cerebellar cortex is, you can see here, the Purkinje layer. Or out of the 5 cells, the only output coming is Purkinje cell, which is inhibitory, you can see here. So the Purkinje cell is inhibitory to deep cerebellar nuclei. The output of the deep cerebellar nuclei is excitatory. Where the deep cerebellar nuclei goes, it goes to everywhere. It goes to thalamus, midbrain, and even cerebral cortex. That separate class I will take. Now the question which I asked already, you can answer now. 5 cells are there in the 3 layers: granule cell, Golgi cell, stellate cell, basket cell, Purkinje cell. So which is excitatory of these 5 cells? You just answer yourself. The answer is granule cell. You can see here. What granule cell does? It forms parallel fibers. Yeah, see here, very clear. Granule cell stimulates stellate cell, granule cell stimulate basket cell, granule cell stimulate Purkinje cell. See other cells. What does Golgi cell does? It inhibits the granule cell. It is not excitatory. What basket cell does? Basket cells inhibit Purkinje. It is not excitatory. What stellate does? stellate inhibit Purkinje. It is not excitatory. Next, one more cell left. Purkinje. What Purkinje cell does? It inhibits deep cerebellar nuclei. It is not excitatory. Wherever inhibit comes, mostly the neurotransmitter is GABA. GABA is inhibitory neurotransmitter. And the output of deep cerebellar nuclei is excitatory. So cerebellum is controlling. For example, if the cerebellum is stimulating the deep cerebellar nuclei, maybe the coordination may not be there. So the cerebellum is narrowing. The cerebellum is controlling the deep cerebellar nuclei by inhibiting it. And the deep cerebellar nuclei function is, it is going to the thalamus, midbrain, cerebral cortex, and the different connections. We have to discuss it later. So the overall view. So summary, just see here, the main functions of cerebellum. I initially showed with the example of how to pick a cup of tea. Coordination, balance and equilibrium, muscle tone, the whatever I told already. There is a communication between cerebral cortex and cerebellum. And this is anatomical classification. Functionally, this one is spinocerebellum. You can see here, spinocerebellum is coordination of movements. Flagellonodal lobe is associated with balance and equilibrium. Then I discussed about the various deep cerebellar nuclei names. Don't eat greasy foods, or fatty guys eat donut. Applied aspects, I think you may have some idea. One applied aspect I told beginning itself. So if your cerebellum is affected, what will happen? Yeah, when I am going to pick a cup of tea, there will be tremor because my initial position is not being given to the cerebral cortex. So intense and tremor will be there. So normally no problem. When I want to do some movement, that's a intense and tremor. One more thing, when I do like this, past pointing will be there. For example, normally what happens, if my cerebellum is normal, someone is holding my hand, or I will ask someone to do this, we each fight. When suddenly he withdraws, my hand will be still there. Why? Because when I withdraw, this has to move here, but cerebellum will send the signals immediately to cerebral cortex. See, if you move here, there is a possibility that the finger will hit the face. So stop there itself. Cerebellum is giving. If my cerebellum is affected, what will happen? Yeah, this finger will come and hit my eye or my face. Because cerebellum is affected, cerebellum is not giving information to cerebral cortex that this may come and hit. Very, very important. Cerebellum not only tells the initial position, it also predicts the future. So I thought I can tell in next class, but this is very important. So this one. So when I take this is expected to hit. That is the future. But that also cerebellum will calculate. So cerebellum, especially neocerebellum or cerebrocerebellum, it also calculates the future, not it down. So cerebrocerebellum knows the initial position of your hand so that the cerebral cortex will plan accordingly. It also predicts the future. For example, when I do like this, when I withdraw, I am not hitting, or my hand is not hitting, because cerebellum has calculated that my cerebellum has calculated my future. Thus, this hand is going to hit my face. So it will tell cerebral cortex, you please don't contract too much so that this will not hit the finger. Cerebral cortex also will tell, okay, thank you cerebellum. So there is a communication. This is called past pointing. So past pointing is seen in cerebellar lesion. Intention tremor is seen in cerebellar lesion. Same, I can do like this because my cerebellum tells prone, supine, or alternate movements. So rapidly doing alternate movements can be done easily. So applied aspects and connections of cerebellum I will discuss in the next class. Thank you for your patient listening.